You know, a great story is one of the best reasons to learn how to read. Now, for a lot of kids like Jenna and Peter, sounding out the words was their biggest challenge. Now we'll meet a boy who has no trouble reading individual words, but who struggles to make sense of what he reads. Here in Toronto, 6-year-old Eric Kimber reads like a champ.
It's windy again, he said to Emma.
It's very deceiving that Eric can read so well. He can read the word, but if he doesn't emotionally understand what that word means, it just creates confusion for him.
It's important to emphasize that word-level reading and comprehension rely on very different processes, because there certainly were those pushing the theory that if you just learned to read the words, you would automatically learn how to comprehend. That was the wrong theory.
Kids struggle with comprehension for a lot of reasons. Some children use all their energy just sounding out the words. Other kids have a limited vocabulary, or they may just lack the background knowledge they need to make sense of the story. Eric struggles because of the effects of autism. Now, you wouldn't know it right away, but connecting with the rest of the world has always been difficult for him.
He was inside himself. He didn't really want to interact with other people or other children.
Dr. Stanley Greenspan says that those emotional interactions are the foundation for understanding what you read.
The richer your emotional interactions early in life, the more understanding you have of the world, the easier it is then to have the words that you're learning have meaning. For a 9-year-old to comprehend an abstract concept like justice that they might be reading about, they have to have lots of emotional experiences with being treated fairly and unfairly.
Dr. Greenspan is a renowned child psychiatrist. He spent decades observing babies, including healthy ones like Malika. He's been a leader in the study of the relationship between emotion and intelligence.
Historically, we've always thought, going back to Descartes, that emotions and reason or intelligence were two separate and competing facets of human existence, where the reason controls and regulates the emotion, which is your passions.
Oh, good. See, protest is good too.
But what we've discovered in our research, both by studying human babies, but also by looking at human evolution, is that actually our emotional interactions gives birth to our ability to use symbols and to think and eventually to be reflective. It's a radically new way of thinking about how intelligence forms.
To tap into Dr. Greenspan's theory, the Kimbers have been using a technique called floor time. The goal is to increase Eric's ability to engage emotionally, which Dr. Greenspan believes can help lay the foundation for improving his reading comprehension.
The beauty of floor time is it has emphasized the role of emotion in learning. The child is motivated, the child is interested, and this is your opportunity to work with language.
My birthday's August 12th.
Oh, you're all born in the same month, in August.
On the same one.
On the same month. But
Floor time is just one aspect of the work Eric is doing to learn how to comprehend. Struggling readers need explicit instruction in how to make sense of what they're reading. In Arlington, Virginia, 6-year-old Anthony Sigel has his own struggles with understanding what he reads. His parents turn to Linda Mood Bell Learning Processes for help. Here they teach Anthony to visualize what he's reading, a key aspect of comprehension.
Well, Einstein said, if I can't picture it, I can't understand it. And if we don't have a way to represent what we're reading about internally using imagery, it's going to be very difficult for us to be able to develop knowledge.
When you see the boy's eyes, what shape do they look like?
Ovals.
Ovals. Very good. Can you give me a whole sentence?
The program starts at a very basic level, where we have a child look at the picture and try to describe it in an appropriate and accurate way.
Can you tell me anything else in this picture that I should see?
He's biting.
Biting? What's the chick biting?
The boy.
Anthony's instructor encourages Anthony to be more and more detailed in his description. His next step will be to describe an image he pictures in his head based on a word given to him by his instructor.
I'm picturing a stop sign in my mind, and it looks blue. Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Stop sign looks red.
Eventually, Anthony will work his way up to sentences, paragraphs, and stories. Even at this early stage, his mom is seeing benefits.
when he's looking at pictures or books or reading with us, he can now look at the picture, understand the words in a way that gives him that gestalt or that whole meaning.
While this intervention is particularly effective with kids who have autism, it has been shown to help other kids who struggle with comprehension too.
The most important lesson that there is in this is that we can stimulate the brain and we can teach an individual how to comprehend and how to process information effectively.
Happy birthday, Dominic! Give me out!
Back in Toronto, Dr. Stuart Shanker has been tracking Eric's progress.
For a kid that's going through the stages of emotional development, the word apple isn't just the name of a fruit that's round, shiny, and red. It's the name of something that's juicy and makes a yummy, crunchy sound when you bite into it. But for a kid who's not been taken through these stages of emotional development, apple's just a label.
As Eric develops his ability to connect emotionally and to communicate, Dr. Shanker and his team take a look inside his brain.
We now have the technology that we can actually map the child's emotional development against the child's brain development.
They measure the electrical signals that travel from Eric's brain to his scalp as Eric does things that might engage him emotionally, like looking at familiar faces.
And what we can do is process that information and look at how fast he's able to recognize his mother by looking at certain characteristic signatures in the brain.
As he develops the ability to make emotional connections, Eric is blossoming.
All he does is sense the pictures.
And he's begun to find meaning in what he reads.
He's finding humor in the expressions on the people's faces now. It's not just hurry up, get through the book, read the words, go to bed.
And the final flip.
Taking that extra time to point at the picture and point at the faces of the people and all of the little things going on in the background. That's part of the book, and that's what captures him.
Someone knows the buddy scores at the good old hockey game.
You turn the page.